I wake up before the alarm goes off, and the first thing I notice is the silence. Not peaceful silence, controlled silence. The kind that exists because people are already awake somewhere, waiting for me to move. Then it hits. For this one day, I am Kylian Mbappé. That name alone feels heavier than my body. It comes with trophies I didn't earn, money I didn't negotiate, and influence I never practiced holding. I'm not thinking about goals or records. I'm thinking about how fast reality rearranged itself without asking whether I was ready. I sit up in bed. The room doesn't feel like mine. It feels staged. Everything is too intentional. Even the light coming through the curtains looks expensive. My phone is already vibrating, not ringing, vibrating, as if it knows better than to interrupt me directly. Messages stack on top of each other. Agents, sponsors, club executives, media people who don't say hello, just requests. Statements that need approval. Appearances that are important. Decisions that are framed as optional but clearly aren't. I haven't spoken yet, and already people are behaving differently. Someone knocks. Not a knock, really. A cautious tap. Security doesn't ask if I want protection. It's just there. A presence. A quiet reminder that my body now has a market value. That danger is assumed. That safety is outsourced. Yesterday I was invisible. Today, doors open before I reach them. Rules bend in advance. Nobody tells me no directly. They just reshape reality so I never have to ask. That's the unsettling part. This power didn't arrive through effort. I didn't train for it. I didn't build the mental muscles required to hold it responsibly. It was dropped onto me like a title, and now everyone expects me to wear it naturally. I catch myself choosing words carefully, even alone. That's new. There's an awareness that my voice no longer belongs just to me. Anything I say can be clipped, translated, weaponized, defended, misunderstood. Silence feels safer, but silence is also interpreted. An assistant starts listing the day's schedule like it's already been agreed upon. Meetings, interviews, strategic conversations. I nod without absorbing most of it, because I'm too busy noticing how nobody is asking what I want to do. They're asking what I'll say. The pressure isn't loud. It's administrative. It comes in emails, calendars, and polite urgency. It's the realization that ambition, loyalty, and freedom are no longer personal concepts. They're narratives, assets, talking points. I haven't left the room yet, and I already feel misaligned. Like my inner voice is still yesterday's version, but the world is responding to someone else entirely. This isn't excitement, it's vertigo. Power didn't knock. It showed up fully formed. And now I'm expected to carry it, like I've always known how. By mid-morning, I stop pretending I'll use this day responsibly. I know the power is temporary. That's exactly why I touch the things people warn me not to. I skip the prepared statement. I cancel the media-trained interview answers. When a microphone appears, I don't talk about projects or long-term visions. I talk about fear. I say loyalty in football is rarely moral. It's contractual, financial, political. I say ambition gets praised only when it aligns with the right institutions. The room stiffens. Someone coughs. Someone else stops taking notes. I keep going. Within minutes, my words are already headlines. Not what I said, what they decided I meant. I step away from the cameras and do something less cinematic. I transfer money quietly. No announcement, no foundation logo. I pay hospital bills through intermediaries. I fund local youth coaches who will never post about it. I'm told later this was a missed branding opportunity. That's how I know it mattered. I walk through public space without staging it. That alone becomes a story. Unexpected appearance. Unplanned movement. Security tightens. Strangers film me breathing. A child waves. Someone else shouts advice about my career like I asked. Every normal action mutates on contact. I buy food from a street vendor, and it turns into a think piece about humility. I ignore a sponsor call, and it becomes speculation about rebellion. I sit in silence, and it's interpreted as strategy. The distortion is instant and aggressive. I say publicly that football governance talks about values while negotiating power behind closed doors. That the calendar is broken. That players are assets first, humans second. I don't name villains. I don't need to. Silence from the top is loud enough. By afternoon, the tone shifts. Not outrage, concern. That's the warning phase. Advisors start using softer language with sharper intent. This may have consequences. This could be misunderstood. This isn't the moment. It's always the wrong moment to say the obvious. What unsettles me isn't backlash, it's how quickly reality bends. People don't argue with what I say, they argue with why I'm allowed to say it. The same sentence spoken by someone else would vanish. Spoken by me, it's a threat. That's the exposure. Truth doesn't scale evenly. It amplifies selectively. As the day ends, I'm amused by the chaos I didn't even try that hard to create. And then the amusement fades. Because nothing I did was radical. It only looked dangerous because of who I was for those hours. Power didn't make my words truer. It just made them impossible to ignore. And that's the part I won't forget when this day ends. The last hours arrive without ceremony. Nothing dramatic happens. No countdown, no warning sound. Just a slow thinning of attention. Messages stop coming in clusters. Assistants begin saying, tomorrow, instead of now. Security relaxes by a few inches. The world starts preparing itself for my disappearance before I do. I can feel the influence leaking out. It's strange to lose power before losing identity. I'm still Kylian Mbappé on paper, on screens, in people's eyes, but the urgency around me is fading. The same words I spoke this morning would land differently now. Softer, easier to ignore. Soon, they won't land at all. I notice doors that open a fraction slower, smiles that feel more professional than reverent. People stop asking what I think and start telling me what's scheduled. The rules are quietly walking back into the room. That's when it clicks. Fame doesn't remove problems, it swaps them. Money replaces uncertainty with expectation. Influence replaces freedom with responsibility. Protection replaces privacy with surveillance. Every movement becomes performance. Every silence becomes suspicious. You don't live inside power. You're displayed inside it. Earlier, borrowing this authority felt effortless. I broke unspoken rules without consequences. I spoke too honestly and watched institutions scramble to contain meaning. It was almost funny how fragile everything became the moment I touched it. Living inside that permanently? That's not power. That's endurance. I joke to myself that it's impressive anyone stays sane doing this for years. The joke doesn't fully land. There's nothing light about being constantly interpreted. About knowing that rest looks like laziness, boundaries look like arrogance, and humanity looks like weakness once it's projected at scale. As the night settles in, the attention thins even more. I'm less protected now, less buffered. The silence feels different than the morning silence. This one isn't controlled. It's indifferent. Tomorrow, my opinions will shrink back to normal size. My actions will stop being headlines. If I speak too honestly again, it won't be called courage. It will just be noise. That should feel relieving. Instead, it feels unsettling. Because now I've seen how uneven the system is, how reality bends for certain voices and hardens for others. How truth doesn't compete fairly. It waits for permission. I didn't become wiser today. I just became louder by accident. When this ends, I return to a life where doors don't anticipate me, where rules apply immediately, where silence means nothing. But I won't forget how quickly the world reorganized itself around a borrowed name, or how easily influence made ordinary thoughts feel dangerous. Power didn't change who I was. It changed how seriously the world pretended to listen. And once you've noticed that, going back to normal doesn't feel neutral anymore. Disclaimer. This video is a fictional, satirical thought experiment. The story, narration, and perspectives presented do not represent the real thoughts, actions, beliefs, intentions, or private life of Kylian Mbappé. All scenarios are imagined and created solely for entertainment and reflection. The purpose of this video is to explore broader ideas about fame, power, influence, and public perception, and how society responds to authority and visibility. It should not be interpreted as factual information, biographical insight, or a personal portrayal of the individual mentioned.